Please join me in welcoming Paul Edwards.
Thank you so much, Helen. That was very kind. And I should say that the uniqueness of that position is only with respect to Working Group 1 of the IPCC, which is on the physical science. There have been many social scientists in the other two working groups. All right, I'm going to start this talk today with a very brief video. And when I show this video, I want you to see two things. I want you to see the results of instrument data collected all over the world since 1880 and processed with algorithms to produce this video. The other thing I want you to see is the rise of industrial civilization based on fossil fuel. Here we go. So when I say these are produced by algorithms, this is a 5-year moving average. The baseline is the 1951 to 1980 average. And what you're seeing, the reason, of course, for the heating is the greenhouse gases that we have emitted over this long period of time into the atmosphere. So let's just leave that on the table and we'll come back to it. I'm going to start now with some concepts from an old book, An Evolutionary Theory of Technological Change. That part of that book was about how organizations persist over time with changing people and changing roles in the organization. So the question is, what is it that makes it possible for an organization to keep doing the same thing even though different people are coming in and going out of the same roles? And one explanation for that was routine. That is, an organization develops a way of doing things, and as new people come in, they learn this routine, and that's the memory that the organization leaves. The second idea was truce. So in any large organization, or even in, say, a small academic department, there are always conflicts. There are people who don't do their job, who do their job in a way that's different from the way that somebody else thinks they should do their job. There are interest groups that have conflicting positions and so on. And yet, the organization continues and works and moves forward. So Nelson and Winter called that a truce. Important, a routine serves as a truce among these conflicting groups. And that's why it's possible for rule breaking and defiance to take place, and the organization can still continue to work. The last concept was targets, and here what they are talking about is that routines become models for new routines, and they also become sort of norms or goals that the organization tries to achieve and may not always actually achieve. Now, in the context of climate science, I'm going to apply this in a different way. So memory is the same issue. How is it that we know about the past, especially as time goes on and we learn more about that same past? So you just saw a presentation of climate data in that video. Those data today look a little bit different than they did 30 or 40 or 50 years ago, even the data about the time before that period, because we have learned more about how the data were collected, how they were combined, and what needed to happen to them to make them all commensurable, and we'll come back to that point. So it's holding and revising information. The truce aspect is the way in which